Hi there everyone, your Pyral here with some more Pokemon Platinum. Last episode, we journeyed here to Giratina's home, the Distortion World, and we made it to the end where we fought Cyrus. He theorizes that Giratina is keeping our world and the Distortion World in balance, and that was why he was brought here, because Cyrus was causing an imbalance. But we're here to calm Giratina down after it's become enraged. So, you want to be prepared for this. You want to be very, very prepared. This is where I recommend that you save. Also, I just want to, before I do anything, I just want to show off something in the journal here. When you go to the Distortion World, when you fight Cyrus after you beat him, it says, met Distortion World's Cyrus. Really weird, because that's like a unique quirk to doing things here in the Distortion World. So, yeah. Anyways, whenever you're ready, it's time to interact with Giratina. I'm not gonna read out that text. The Distortion World's Giratina appeared. Giratina is really, really challenging as a boss. And of course, it is a wild Pokemon, so you can capture it. That's what I'm going to be attempting to do. Giratina here is level 47 with the ability Levitate, so any ground-type moves that you want to use on it will not work. Comes with the moves Ominous Wind, which has a chance of increasing all of its stats. Ancient Power, which also has a chance of increasing all of its stats. Shadow Claw, which has a high critical hit rate, and its signature move, Shadow Force. Shadow Force will make Giratina disappear for one turn, and then during the next turn after it uses it, it will hit you for a ton of damage, and it bypasses through Protect, Detect, and that's it. So Giratina here is a Ghost Dragon, so it will get same type attack bonus off of... Actually, it doesn't have Shadow Claw, it has Dragon Claw. It will get same type attack bonus off of Ominous Wind, Shadow Force, and Dragon Claw, so it can deal a ton of damage. Plus, its stats are just more geared towards offense anyways. I missed. The reason here why I have Cosmos in the lead is there's one of two reasons. One, because I am just immune to Shadow Force and Ominous Wind through this. But two are for sentimental reasons. I have mentioned before, when we first got Cosmos, how I was influenced by someone named Spirit of Steel who did a Togepi solo run. Well, back in the day, when Pokemon Platinum first came out in the US, when I would just go onto YouTube and just search up Pokemon Platinum on the search bar and just look up random videos, that was how I came across Spirit of Steel. And the very first video of his that I came up across was his Togepi solo run, where he had Cosmos the Togepi fighting Giratina. So essentially, things are coming full circle for me, having Cosmos here fight Giratina. And it's just a really nice sentimental reason, because Spirit of Steel is the reason I make videos in the first place. He is the first person that inspired me to do so. So, having a Togepi inspired by his Togepi is just all the more fitting. Anyways, I have this thing, Drowsy with Yawn. You want to have Dusk Balls for this place, ideally, because Dusk Balls are going to be at their most effective here, because they're most effective at night or in a cave, and for catching purposes, this place is treated as a cave. But I have Ultra Balls, because this is just... This goes along the same lines as me wanting to catch Pokemon in Pokeballs, but with legendary Pokemon like Giratina here, I will try to catch them in Ultra Balls. I don't know why, that's just how I do things. Speaking of catching Giratina, Giratina has a catch rate of 3. Without getting into things too much... Oh. Dang it. Without getting into things too much, that's the lowest catch rate possible for a Pokemon, and the lower a catch rate is, that basically means it's going to be incredibly difficult to catch, and because Giratina has the lowest catch rate possible, it's going to be very, very difficult to catch. And this, trying to capture this thing is going to be just difficult in general, just because a lot of Giratina's moves don't have a lot of power points, so if the battle drags on too much, then Giratina will eventually struggle. And I do want to preface this by saying that if you knock out Giratina, you can always catch it later. I just want to catch it now. Speaking of Giratina, it has an awesome song. Listen to it. Okay, so Exia here is probably the next best bet that I have at just resisting Giratina's attacks, just because Exia resists everything Giratina can throw at me, even though Giratina does still hit pretty hard. I was hoping it would use a Ghost-type move on Bibarel, just so it could waste a few more power points. But that does seem to be the case. This is also why Sync is not present, because it's weak against Ghost-type moves, and it'd just be taking a lot of damage in general. So Sync, I felt, was the most necessary to take out. Am I gonna catch it? Okay then. Be that way, Giratina. Please. Come on, catch. At this point, I'm just gonna be chucking Ultra Balls, because I do want to show off all of its moves, though. Because Shadow Force, it is a really cool move, even though it is possible to just wall it if you have a normal type. It's still a really, really cool move. So, use that. And sure, why not use Ominous Wing, because we were immune to that before. Or... no, don't get my hopes up like that. Okay, Giratina. Also, it's just really dangerous having both Ancient Power and Ominous Wind, since both of those moves can raise all of its stats. If it gets just one boost from one of those moves, it is going to be putting the hurt on you immensely. Luckily, I am 4 times resistant to Ancient Power, but still. Also, fun fact, this fight was shown. Like, there was an image of this fight that was shown, like, as pre-release material before this game came out, and Giratina had a different sprite back then, which does not look nearly as cool as this one, if I'm being completely honest, because that one looked just really, really... I mean, it looked good, but this one is just way better. It's like coming right at you. Come on, use Shadow Force, please. Ultra Ball, I have enough Ultra Balls. This is partially why I bought a ton of them. And I'm probably gonna buy more later. Another Dragon Claw. Come on, use something else. Like, again, use Shadow Force. I want to see it. Because then, after that, I can just start cutting to when I catch it. Or knock it out. One? No. Now, I will... Oh, there's Shadow Force. When you use a Shadow Force, because it disappears, you can't target it with, like, any attack or throw a Pokeball at it. So, my strategy here, I'm just going to revive Cosmos. Because Cosmos is pretty much immune to that. And I think it used up all of its ancient powers. I might be wrong on that. But, anyways, if you were playing through Diamond and Pearl, I did mention before when we were exploring the Distortion World that you would fight, or Cyrus would summon either Dialga or Palkia. You would catch either of those, depending on the version you're playing, and those are significantly easier to catch. Just saying, I'm not going to go over them or anything, just because we're not battling them ourselves, because we're playing through Platinum, but it is there. Also, another reason why I revived Cosmos is because of Yawn. Dragon Claw. If this was a later generation, I'd be immune to that. Gosh, the Pokemon, no wait. I was thinking of, like, Drampa from, Sun and Moon, but no, that wouldn't really help. But a normal and fairy type, though, would just nearly wall this thing. So, yeah, I mean, fairy type doesn't exist yet, but still. Dragon Claw, fine, do that, knock out Cosmos. But we've seen all of Giratina's moves now, and it's asleep. I'm just gonna cut ahead to either when I catch it, or it gets knocked... Ooh, hiccup. Or when it gets knocked out. Ideally, for me, though, I will say, my ideal strategy is to put this thing to sleep. Because... Or not to sleep, to paralyze if I have a way of doing so. Just because, I would rather have that. Because I don't need to keep on reapplying it. Where with sleep, it just wakes up from that. Anyways, I guess, see you when something interesting happens. Oh, perfect! Gambu was my last Pokemon. Nice. One attempt too. That's actually surprising because sometimes it takes me multiple attempts. It was banished for its violence. It silently gazed upon the old world from the Distortion World. Weighs a lot. Well, there we go. There's Giratina. Giratina seems to have understood us. That Pokemon. That shadowy Pokemon was captured. If you were to defeat him, you'd be like, that Pokemon was defeated? Your doing so means this irrational world will remain in existence. Does that make it impossible for me to create a new world? Even if I made new red chains, the new world can't be made. Why? What compels you to protect the two worlds? Is spirit a vague and incomplete thing so important to you? The places we are born, the time we spend living, the languages we speak, we are all different, but the presence of Pokemon unites us. We share our lives with our Pokemon, and our happiness grows as we all become greater than we were alone. That is why we can battle and trade with anyone we choose. Silence! Enough of your blathering. That's how you justify spirit as something worthwhile? That is merely humans hoping, deluding themselves that they're happy and safe. The emotions roiling inside me. Rage, hatred, frustration. These ugly emotions arise because of my own incomplete spirit. Enough. We will never see eye to eye. This I promise you. I will break the secrets of the world. With that knowledge, I will create my complete and perfect world. One day, you will awaken to a world of my creation. A world without spirit. Since there is sadness, we can feel joy. When there is anger, compassion is born. Let's go back home. The portal where Giratina was should lead back to our world. Giratina was written in legend as being on the other side of our world. It stands to reason that it has a link to the other side. And that's all you say. Okay. Let's go leap into this portal. This place. It's the Send-Off Spring. It's said to somehow lead to the great beyond. And Giratina was said to live in a world on the opposite side of ours. I'm sincerely sorry. It's very rude of me. Ral, you're incredible. You really are a fantastic trainer. Let me say this on behalf of all of Sinnoh. Ral, thank you. Oh, that's right. You have to go tell Professor Rowan. He was very worried about you. You should go visit him in his lab. And do that we shall. Whoa, that was quite the battle. Quite the battle. Let's just, go here. I need to heal. I need to heal. Oh, wait. Cynthia does say some stuff. So, Cynthia here is guarding this cave. She's not gonna move. So, if you want to see what's inside that cave, you're gonna have to wait till later. You have to go tell Professor... That's all you have to say? I know you have some other dialogue. Maybe it's after I go talk to Professor Rowan. But anyways, here in the Send-Off Spring, let me pull it up on the map. The Send-Off Spring is right over here. The spring path will take us here to the Send-Off Spring. Well, the Send-Off Spring will take us to the spring path, which will take us to Route 214. And the closest Pokemon Center is Veilstone City. So let's go ahead and do that so we can take a look at our newly captured Giratina. But before I do that, there is a new Pokemon that can be found here in the Send-Off Spring. Also, there's this nice little bridge. It's a really small place. I believe the town map actually, like, if you were to read its description, it calls this place the 4th Lake of Sinnoh that was kept secret. So, yeah. It's a small lake, though. But there is a new Pokemon that can be found here, which is Dusclops. Dusclops, it's a very bulky Pokemon, made even more so when it fully evolves. If you were diligent in getting items, then you should already have a Reaper Cloth, which will be all you need. Well, you do need to trade Dusclops holding a Reaper Cloth to evolve it into Dusknoir, where its offensive capabilities are a little bit better, but Dusknoir, the Dusclops family, its main thing is being bulky and using pressure to drain power points. It can even learn like moves like Will-O-Wisp to burn things, to give it more bulk. Pain Split as like some kind of form of healing, although that might be Burial, I don't remember. But it's definitely a Pokemon I can recommend, especially if you want to try something different and have something bulky that can deal a decent amount of offensive damage on the physical side. It's nice. Yeah, here is the spring path, and takes us straight over here to Route 214. So now we can enter the spring path anytime we want. But now I am going to heal and check out our newly acquired Giratina, because Giratina is pretty cool, and I do have some things to talk about a bit with it. So Giratina, before I do that, Sync, you need to get back in here. As you can see, Giratina is a little bit different in appearance. So what we saw of Giratina in the Distortion world, that is its origin form. This form here is its altered form, which was the first form that we got to see of Giratina ever, because Giratina was in Diamond and Pearl, but its origin form wasn't. Anyways, let's talk about Giratina as a Pokemon. Sassy nature, nice. That increases special defense. Giratina has a ton of HP. In its altered form, it's more defensive, and it has the ability Pressure, which will drain power points of offensive moves by 2 instead of 1. So it really lends itself well to PP stalling and just being generally bulky, especially when you can teach it moves like Will-O-Wisp and like Rest and Sleep Talk as a reliable form of recovery. It's a really good Pokemon. It's decently fast, not as fast as some other Pokemon, and it still hits pretty hard even though it is more defensively inclined, which is the opposite of its origin form where it's more offensively inclined. But Giratina is still a really good Pokemon. Too good, in fact, which is why I'm not going to be using it in my team. But if you want a really good Pokemon, Giratina is there. The Ghost Dragon typing is really good. It's just funny that it's weak against both of those types, so it's essentially weak to itself. But Giratina is still a really cool Pokemon that I can recommend. It's among one of the best Pokemon in the game, and it's just really cool. So yeah. Anyways, gonna do some editing magic and meet you back over at Sandgem Town so we can meet Professor Rowan. Okay, back in Sandgem Town. So let's go see what Professor Rowan wants to talk to us about. Oh, you're right there. Took me by surprise. You've come back. You leave me speechless. You've done it. You really have done it. Never has my heart pounded this hard for so long in my 60 years of living. The professor did a lot of checking up after you left. He was really worried about you, Ral. He contacted acquaintances looking for help, and... Ral, I'm glad to see you safe. Welcome back. Oh yes, there was something I have to tell you. The 3 Pokemon of the lakes appear to have returned to their homes. So tell me, how are things going for you? The Pokedex? A total of 175. Your numbers might be looking a bit different, even if you have been playing along with me, just because your team might be different, and like you might not have seen some of the wild Pokemon that I have seen and things like that, but your numbers should be around there. Number of badges? Well, you've got 7 already. That only leaves Sunny Shores Gym. You've come this far. Why not obtain Sunny Shores badge? And why not challenge the Pokemon League? That will broaden your horizons further than ever before. Not to mention the opportunities to meet even more Pokemon. If you see Cynthia, please give her my best regards. So I was thinking, those Pokemon you met, Ral, were they the ones said to be the creators of the Sinnoh region? I'm stunned by your greatness. I feel as shaken and inspired as when my child was born. Wow. Wow, that's quite... I don't know if... Okay, you know, whatever. Who am I to judge? Let's see, hearing what was happening from the professor gave me shivers, but he strongly said that you will make everything alright. I believe that you would make it, and here you are. Thanks! Now, the events at the Spear Pillar will actually have Dialga and Palkia registered into your Pokedex. So, yep, they will be registered as seen. You don't need to worry about that, which is nice. It's nice that they're registered there, even though we didn't, like, technically fight them. But there they are. And of course, Giratina is registered in the Pokedex because we're just flat out required to battle it. Anyways, about Giratina, I do have another, like, sentimental story about Giratina. But when I first played through Pokemon Platinum, Giratina was actually the first Pokemon that I Eevee trained. That's getting a bit into competitive talk, but it was what allowed me to dip my toes into the competitive scene. I captured Giratina. I was actually really excited when I captured Giratina too, because it took me 7 attempts to catch it, I think. It took me 7 days to catch it, and I caught it in my 7th Dusk Ball. And I made like a forum post on the Cerebi forums about that, which was exciting. And then I took a look at its stats, and I saw that it had an IV of 30 for its attack, which it's not the max its attack could be, but that was really exciting to me at the time because it's like, oh, this Giratina has a nearly perfect attack stat, and that's what inspired me to Eevee train it and get into that whole competitive side of things, because I never Eevee trained anything before. So that Giratina was the first Pokemon that I ever Eevee trained, and I still have it in my original copy of Platinum. So, it's nice. It's nice that Giratina, in a way, is the start of a lot of things for me, alongside a Togepi. Because Giratina was my start into competitive things, Togepi was my start into YouTube things, and those two colliding together was the start of it all. Although, Steel didn't capture Giratina, he knocked it out with Togepi. Because it was a solo run, he's not gonna bother catching anything that he didn't need, like HM users. But yeah. And it's nice that I was able to have my own Cosmos finally do that. I was really excited for that part of the game, to show it off and to talk about it. But yeah. Anyways, we have quite a few things that we can do now. We could go over to Sunnyshore's City, challenge the gym, and make our way towards the Pokemon League, but there is something else that I want to do instead. And it does have something to do with what Professor Rowan said. And I'm going to talk about that in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you all next time for some more Pokemon Platinum. Later!